I need to tell you something that sounds impossible. Getting rich had nothing to do with making more money. I'm a 54-year-old diesel mechanic from Pittsburgh, never made more than $52,000 a year, and right now, I'm looking at $338,000 in my investment accounts. 12 years ago, I had $803 to my name. Same job, same salary, same bills. So what changed? I stopped bleeding money. That's it. So I plugged 8 holes in my financial boat that were sinking me every single month. My name's Dennis. For 20 years, I made decent money and stayed broke. Always scrambling by the 3rd week of the month. Always one emergency away from disaster. Then one night, my buddy Carl mentioned he had over $100,000 saved. Carl worked the same shop, same paycheck. I had $8,100. That conversation felt like getting punched in the chest. I went home and tracked every dollar I spent for 3 months. What I found made me sick. I was throwing away $20,800 every year. Not on rent, not on necessities, on 8 things that felt normal, that felt small, that everybody does. This is my confession. 8 things. 20,000 gone annually for 2 decades. And the scariest part? I had no idea I was doing it. Thing number 1, brand new trucks. Every 3 years, I loved that new truck smell. Loved walking in with 0 miles. Made me feel successful. So every 3 years, I'd trade up. Told myself I earned it. Here's the math I never did. Between the higher payment, full coverage insurance, and brutal depreciation, a new truck cost me $4,200 more per year than keeping my paid-off ride. $4,200. Every single year. For 16 years, that's $67,000. Gone. So people could say nice truck for 2 weeks before they stopped noticing. The truck I drive now is a 2016 Ram. I bought cash in 2019. Runs perfect. And that $4 grand a year goes into my Roth IRA instead of making dealerships rich. Thing number 2, eating out for lunch every day, $12 a day at the diner. Burger, fries, tea, sometimes 15 if I got breakfast too. 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. That's $3,120 annually. For 20 years. $62,400 on lunch I could have packed at home. Think about that number. $62,000. Now I spend $30 a week at the grocery store. Saves me over $2,600 annually. And after 2 weeks of packing lunch, I stopped missing the diner completely. Thing number 3, cable packages I never watched. 207 channels, every sports package, all the movie channels, $140 a month. I watched maybe 8 channels. 140 times 12 is $1,680 every year. For 17 years, that's $28,560. Almost 30 grand for television I barely used. I'd come home exhausted, flip channels for 20 minutes, fall asleep on the couch, cut it to basic internet and 2 streaming services, $42 monthly, saved over $1,300 a year. And I watch less TV now, which means I'm actually living instead of watching other people live. But those first 3, everyone knows those cost money. The next 5 are where it gets dangerous, because these are things nobody talks about. Thing number 4, lottery tickets every week, $20 on Tuesday, 20 on Friday. Powerball when the jackpot hit. Scratch-offs at the gas station. I wasn't addicted. I just liked the dream. $40 weekly is $2,080 yearly. For 15 years, $31,200 handed straight to the state. 31 grand for a 1 in 300 million shot. The lottery is designed for guys who'd rather dream about getting rich than build wealth. The house always wins. Stopped cold in 2014. That 2 grand a year went into an S&P 500 index fund. 11 years later, it's worth $46,000. Turns out the market beats Powerball by about 300 million to 1. Thing number 5, tools that sat in my box. Being a mechanic made this deadly. New impact wrench? Gotta have it. Diagnostic scanner on sale? Need it. Every tool truck visit, I bought something. But I wasn't buying tools I needed. I was buying tools that looked cool. 4 ratchet sets when 2 would have covered everything. An $800 scanner when the shop had 3. $1,820 yearly on tools that collected dust. 13 years of this? $23,660 on stuff that never earned me 1 extra dime. Now I ask one question before buying any tool. Will this make me money? If no, I walk away. I'm just as good at my job with half the stuff. And the next thing I wasted money on? This one shocked me most when I finally calculated it. Thing number 6, drinking after work. Friday nights at Murphy's Bar, sometimes Thursdays, $50 a night when I'm buying rounds. Twice a week, every week. 50 times 2 is 100 weekly. 433 monthly. $5,200 every year. I called it networking, building friendships, bonding with the crew. But real friends don't need you buying drinks to stick around. The guys who only showed up when I was paying, those weren't friends. Cut it to twice monthly now. Maybe 3 beers and I'm out. Saved over $4,400 annually. And my real friendships got stronger because we started doing things that didn't cost money. Thing number 7. Extended warranties on everything TV, laptop, phone, appliances. If they asked about extended warranty, I said yes, every time, because I was terrified something would break. $65 here, $90 there, $150 for big purchases. $780 yearly on warranties for stuff that either never broke or broke after warranty expired. 10 years without buying these, I've replaced maybe 2 things out of pocket. Cost me $400 total. Saved $7,800 by not buying protection I never used. Real insurance is having money saved, not paying for fake peace of mind. Thing number 8. Convenience store runs. Last one. The silent killer. Stopping for Red Bull and jerky. Grabbing Gatorade and chips. Running into 7-Eleven for soda and candy. $11 here, $13 there, 5 or 6 times weekly. Call it $37 a week average. That's $1,924 annually on impulse buys I didn't remember 10 minutes later. For 16 years, $30,784 on convenience store junk. Started keeping snacks in my truck. That $2,000 a year goes into my brokerage account now instead of making gas stations rich. The real math. Let me show you exactly what I threw away. New trucks, $4,200 a year. Lunch out, $3,120. Premium cable, $1,680. Lottery tickets, $2,080. Unnecessary tools, $1,820. Bar tabs, $5,200. Extended warranties, $780. Convenience stores, $1,924. Add it up, $20,800. Every year, for 20 years, I made $52,000 annually. After taxes, I took home $40,000, which means I was wasting more than half my take-home pay on these 8 things. Half. No wonder I was always broke. These didn't feel big. That's why they killed me. Nobody goes bankrupt buying one truck. You go bankrupt bleeding $20,000 yearly on normal stuff everyone else does too. At 42, Carl's comment was my wake-up call. I tracked every dollar for 90 days. Saw where it all went. Felt sick, but also felt hope. Because if these 8 things were the problem, stopping them was the answer. Wasn't easy. I felt cheap. Co-workers made fun of me for packing lunch, for keeping my old truck, for skipping the bar. But within 5 months I had more saved than ever. Within 2 years, $31,000 invested. Within 5 years, $104,000. Today, $338,000. Not because I made more. Not because I got lucky. Because I stopped bleeding money. Consumer spending data shows the average American household wastes $17,000 to $24,000 yearly on discretionary purchases. I was dead center in that range. The difference between broke and building wealth isn't income. It's plugging the leaks. If you make decent money and wonder where it goes, it's going to your version of these 8 things. Small stuff that adds up, normal stuff everyone does, stuff that feels fine but destroys you over decades. I'm not telling you to live like a monk. I'm asking you to be honest about what you spend and why. I lied to myself for 20 years, said I deserved these things, that they were small, that they didn't matter. They mattered more than anything else I did financially. One question. Which one of these 8 are you still buying? Not judging, just asking you to be honest. Pick a number, 1 through 8, the one that hit hardest. The one where you thought, that's me. Type it below. Because sometimes seeing it in your own words is exactly what you need to change it. Worked for me at 42. Maybe it works for you today.